Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2023 Honda CRV Hybrid all-wheel drive in the Sport Touring trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 235/55 Continental tires wrapped around 19-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Canyon River Blue, and really impressive color. This Honda's did a good job with this dark, kind of like a desaturated royal type blue. Really impressive. Now, since this is on the sport spectrum, it has a lot of gloss black wheels, grille, and all over the place. But they did add this little kind of metallic piece down here, which is kind of interesting. And this bottom portion is a matte black, unlike the grille, which is a gloss black. So you can see it has these large openings here, looking pretty cool. A little bit easier to clean than the little itty bitty ones. And then the badge here also serves as the radar adaptive cruise control, and then you have the parking sensors integrated into this section here at the bottom. Now the headlights are a multi-reflector headlight system. The low beams, high beams, even the turn signals are all LEDs here in the front. I have a full night video if you want to check it out. Looking at the profile of the vehicle, that matte black that we saw there in the front extends around each wheel well and here at the base of the doors as well, all the way to the back. There's body colored handles. The upper portion of the side mirror is a gloss black, but then right here is a matte black. Now right in here, if there was a gloss black too, that would kind of blend in with what they're doing, is trying to blend in and solidify that glass, you know. But since it's matte black, it kind of stands out from the glass and kind of doesn't really accomplish that. Now it is all surrounded by chrome, which is interesting considering all the other black that's on the vehicle. There's even black roof rails here at the top. It's just, they just put it everywhere. I wonder what the association with black and sport is. I like Honda's new key design. It has just a lighter feel. It's easier to manage, kind of rounded off, and you know, still functional as the one before. It's just a little bit lighter and more easy to carry around. This is the full proximity key, lock, unlock, the ability to remote start the vehicle and open up the power liftgate. There's also a panic button as well. And you can remove the physical key very easy and basically store the key fob somewhere while you just have your keychain separated, which is nice. I do that all the time. So as long as you have this key with you, you can lock and unlock the doors. Since this is a full proximity key system, the lock is right here. So you simply just put your hand on that lock. As long as the key is on the outside of the door, you can lock it here, unlock it here. So the sensor's on the back of the handle. So you can just walk up, grab the handle, and allows you access to the vehicle. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. The doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, covering up completely this threshold and keeping it cleaner than what it would otherwise be. There's even a seal here as well, kind of keeping dirt and debris from getting in that threshold so you don't get your clothes dirty getting in and out of the vehicle. So the inside is basically all black. It does have a gloss black here with some texturing, kind of neat looking. Kind of like a golf ball dimple or something like that going on. And then it has this stitching throughout the vehicle as well. So this is a kind of like a semi-soft material. It's a injection molded type material. This is a softer type vinyl type material. The rest of the door is a hard touch plastic. This is enclosed. You can utilize it as a pocket, but it does have the hard plastic in there. And then you have the pockets there at the bottom. The reason why I mentioned the hard plastic is because if you put something in there, it tends to rattle around if it's just hard plastic. If it's like a little soft pad like some manufacturers have in there, kind of helps out with that noise. Especially like if you have the speakers blasting and you have something rattling around in the pocket or something, kind of takes away from the experience and also could be quite annoying. So it has a power seat here on the passenger side, but it doesn't have any height adjustment, just forward and back here and tilt the back. And then you have the leather trim seats with the stitching, and it's kind of like an orangey type stitching going on, and it has the double stitch there in the middle. It's really nice looking, and they're fairly comfortable as well. Plenty of room here in the front floorboard. You see very little tapering going on, just lots of room. This is a hard touch surface, and then there is a locking glove compartment. Smooth plastic on the inside, but you can see it just kind of flops down. There's more of that gloss black, but you also have like this little metal grill. It's kind of a honeycomb metal grill right in here, and it covers up the climate control vents and looks kind of cool. Very, very similar to the Civic. The inside of this vehicle, when you're sitting behind the wheel, it's very easy. It looks just like the Civic, basically. It's pretty interesting. And then there's a non-reflective kind of rubberized dash here. Standard sunroof. You can see the opening here in the front is wide open. Real easy to get in and out of the vehicle. You're not bumping your head or anything like that. Just lots of room. The height of the seat off the ground is nice, so it's real easy to just kind of walk up, get in and out very easily. And the swing of the door is nice. Now check out the swing of the door here in the back. It's almost at a 90-degree angle, which is great. It completely gets out of your way because there's a little bit less room right here for getting in and out. Still a lot of headroom, but having that swing of the door to where you can swing it out so far really helps out, just in case you need to kind of, you know, get in there, and sometimes the door kind of squeezes you and gets in your way. So I like the way they had the ability, at least, to swing the door out this far. So similar styling as the front, but you have the hard touch surfaces instead of the soft touch up here. This is soft as like a rag laid over a anvil, but it is technically soft on the surface. Then you have the pocket there, and then the hard touch surface at the bottom. There's a threshold area, and the back seat is basically a bench seat. You can recline it. You can see the different levels of recline here. So this seat is reclined further back than that one. And then you have the armrest, cup holders. Get that out of the way. It does have the latch system. You can see the latch system for the car seats is really easy to get to. There's no covers to lose and get in the way. Nothing in your way, basically. But they are visible. Almost a completely flat floor back here, which is nice, especially if you need a center passenger. Kind of gives them more leg room. And then there's a pocket on the back of this back seat here on the passenger side, but not the driver's side. 2 USB-C charge ports, and then climate control vents here as well. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has, of course, we saw the roof rails there, which are a gloss black. And then there's a body colored shark fin antenna here. The third brake light is in the top of the glass right here in this this rear spoiler. And of course it has the privacy glass here in the back, but not the front windows. You can match those if you want. Now there is a rear wiper, little rear wiper back here. The backup camera is over here, kind of offset. Not really in the best position, but it's okay. It works okay. Could be a lot better. Parking sensors back here as well. And then there is, these are surrounds. These are not really technically exhaust tips. They are exhaust surrounds. But you'll notice that this one right here is where the exhaust comes out, and that one is just blocked off. So you can see it's just blocked off. Just there for looks, to make it even, make it symmetrical. So you let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now the taillights, all the taillights are here. This is a reflector down here. All the taillights are here, and it's a combination of LED and standard bulbs. So opening up the power liftgate, you can of course use the key, or you can push the button, which is located right here underneath the emblem. So we have the hard plastic here on the inside of the liftgate. If you have the seats occupied with passengers, this will be your cargo space. And this bottom floor right here is completely flat, which is really handy. It does have some tie downs here, as well as here, kind of integrated there. So if you put something in here on this flat floor, like a box or whatever, you do have the ability to tie it down or put a net pocket or something like that, net over it, or, you know, extend a net pocket across here and fill it up with stuff, that kind of thing. Now there is some bag holders here on the sides, and then there's lights on each side. And I showed the pluses and minuses of these lights. They are quite bright, and they do probably above average job as far as illuminating this cargo area, but there's just a huge miss here, and I show that in the night video. A little bit of a spoiler, I guess. So there's a little storage cubby here. There's also a inflator kit here with a funnel, and there's a little storage cubby here on the right side with a subwoofer. So if you put something in that hard touch plastic area, and then the subwoofer's right there, you know, it's gonna rattle, so just keep that in mind. There's also a 12-volt power supply here on the left side, and it goes up to 180 watts max. These seats can fold down. It's a 60-40 split to fold them down, so you can add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space. As you fold the seats down, you can see the bottom portion goes down as well. So you can see it puts it as low as it can possibly go, but still it's quite a bit higher than the cargo area. So, you know, see if that matches your needs. If you need a larger, completely flat floor, then this one might not be ideal for you. It does have the ability to buy and add a shade here, so you can have an extendable shade that goes right here, and you pull it forward and hook it here. But, you know, that would be to cover up your cargo area. Now you can fold the seats down, add to your cargo space, like I mentioned, one, still maintaining the passenger space, or you can take everything out, like a shade or whatever you happen to have in the way, fold all the seats down and have a wide open place. Lowering the power liftgate, you just press this button, and you also use that button to set the maximum height as well. So if you don't want this liftgate to go up so high, you physically move it where you want. Basically grab it and move it wherever you want. Press and hold that button, and it'll beep at you a couple times. And the next time it goes up, it will go up to that height instead of the maximum height, which is set now. But lowering it, you simply just press it, and it comes on down. Fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's a locking fuel door. It locks with the vehicle. So when the vehicle is unlocked, it will also unlock. And it has a capless design, so you don't have to worry about undoing a cap or whatever, getting in the way, getting your hands dirty or anything like that. As long as the key's inside the vehicle to start it up, you just press the button, and it'll start up for you. And since it's a hybrid vehicle, you may not hear the engine run. Right now the engine's running, but it may just turn on and say ready. So it says ready there, letting you know it's ready to drive. So even if you don't hear the engine running, if it says ready, it's ready to drive. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you notice the floor mat hooks in place, so it keeps it straight for you. Unlike the passenger side, this side is secured, the floor mat. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and a footrest here on the left side. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there is a latch right here in the very center. Just reach in, move it to the right, and then lift up. So right here is what you're doing, like so. And it's the type of hood that holds it up for you. It has little supports there. So it has insulation here under the hood. There's also seals across the back and the front of the engine compartment, controlling airflow and some noise. The battery, the 12-volt battery portion, there's two batteries. One is for the hybrid system. This is just the regular engine starting accessory mode type engine battery, like the typical one you'd see in a vehicle. It is easy to get to, which is nice. So this has like a soft engine cover. It doesn't cover up too much of the stuff, so we actually get to see some of the things here. So it's a regular non-turbo engine, 4-cylinder. Now this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, but you can see the orientation of the engine is this way, which is typically the front-wheel drive orientation. The front of the engine is here, the back of the engine is here, and the hybrid, a two-motored hybrid system, and kind of serves as a transmission and all that stuff is down in this area. This vehicle is powered by a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine, and it's together with a hybrid system, a two-motor hybrid system that works together as the transmission as well. Now it puts out 181 horsepower combined and 247 pound-feet of torque combined. Now this torque comes in at 0 to 2,000 RPMs. The max horsepower comes in at 5,000, 8,000. So that horsepower is in the much, much higher RPM range, but that torque, which is what gets you going and gives you the acceleration, is in the low RPMs, which is fantastic. Since it's a hybrid system, this is the all-wheel drive model, so it prefers the city driving for fuel economy. So the city actually gets up to 40 miles per gallon, highway is 34, and combined is 37. I've been getting about 33, 34, but it is more skewed towards the city driving as far as fuel economy. It has the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, and little indicators here on the side mirror, integrated actually into the mirror. It'll illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. Now the driver's door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. It has 2 presets for the power seat, 1 touch up and down power windows. So the front window is like this, which is that laminated glass. You raise it just by simply lifting up on the button there. Same thing with the back, but the back only goes that far, so it doesn't go all the way down. Door lock control, side mirror adjusted there. Now the driver's seat, unlike the passenger seat, it's a power seat, but it also has the ability to raise, lower, tilt, and all that stuff. Tilt the back, and then it has a 2-way lumbar adjustment. It's not very aggressive. I could barely feel it, but it does have that adjustment. Now these are heated seats as well. To the left of the steering column, you have the ability to open up the power liftgate here, and then this is to turn off the traction control. So if you need to spin tires for whatever reason, you have to turn off the traction control, and this is the off button for that. Default will be on. It also has a tilt and telescoping steering column that you lock in place here. Sitting behind the driver's seat, I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of what the potential legroom here is. And it's a little bit further back than what I would typically drive, so I might pull it up slightly, and I would have it all the way down. So it's pretty good amount of legroom here. Even here on the right side. Now, if your leg happens to be resting here, though, it is a hard touch plastic, so keep that in mind. But overall, it's pretty good. The footrest is nice, and definitely the legroom here on the side is okay. The steering wheel is a leather wrap steering wheel with the stitching there on the inside, and it is heated. You can see the button right there, and it has a little indicator light, which is very convenient. I wish more vehicles would have the button just right there, very obvious. Sometimes they're kind of hidden in different places, or sometimes even on the screen that you have to find. But this one's really nice. The comfort of it, the thickness of the steering wheel is all good. It's not too gaudy or anything like that. It doesn't have like any kind of weird bolstering or anything like that. Just very subtle bolstering here. Now it does have some metallic accents here, and then the gloss black as well. Now here on the right side is a cruise control. You can turn it on, set, resume, cancel, and then the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you using the radar adaptive cruise control is set here. You press the button and it kind of cycles through the different distances, and you rest on the one you want. And this is to turn on the lane keep assist, which is pretty good. It doesn't fight with you, and it does a decent job of keeping you in the center of the lane. Here on the left side is the volume for the radio, change to the tracks, voice recognition, and then you have a home button and this little scroll wheel with the ability to press in and make selections, and this corresponds with the screen here. We'll get to that in a second. Now there is pedal shifters on the back of the steering wheel. This adjusts the regen braking for the hybrid system. It's not like you're changing gears like a sports car or anything like that. So here is the front and rear wiper controls. It does have an automatic option as well. Turn signal is located here, but it also has the headlight switch, so that you can toggle on or off the daytime running lights. There's the parking lights, and then force the headlights on here. Now, if you turn off at nighttime, if you turn off the exterior lights when the vehicle's running, if you put it in gear and try to drive, it'll automatically just switch the headlights back on. Okay, so here is the gauges. Now the gauges are a combination of a physical gauge here on the right side and then the screens on the left side. So it has a physical speedometer there that's always there. But you have this area on this side in which you can customize. Now it does have some different views, but you kind of have to go deep into the menu system in order to change those views. It's not a simple press of a button. So if I hit the home button here on the steering wheel, I can go through and I can make selections on the information that I want here in the center. So I can go through, if I want the audio, phone, navigation, which just shows the compass, driver attention, all-wheel drive, torque distribution. This is good for if you're on a slippery surface or something like that, or just interesting. It tells you which the bias between the front and the back as far as the power delivered to the wheels. Pretty neat. Status of the seat belt. So if you got kids in the back, it'll show you whether they're buckled up or not. Right now it's just showing one person in the vehicle and the seat belt is not buckled yet, so you can see it's red. It'll turn green when I fasten my seat belt. The status of your maintenance, like when you change the oil. Safety support. So this will give you the status of your different blind spot detection system, lane keep assist, and the adaptive cruise control. You can see those are all green right now because they're turned on. You can have no content here if you don't want. You can have that. You can also adjust the brightness, which you have to go into this menu system and go in here to adjust the brightness. It's a little bit inconvenient. You can go into the display settings here, and you can go in here and check and uncheck the things that you want to have on that menu that we just went through. You have the power flow, which is whether the power is coming from the battery or the engine, and it kind of neat to watch and see what's going on there. Not essential or anything. Under the range and fuel, if we select that, it shows us the range and the average fuel economy, but it also gives us our trip. This is where we have to go to for our trip. So we have A and B, and we can reset those independently by pressing and holding the button. The scroll wheel button. We saw the start button here to start the vehicle, and then here's the touch screen. Now it's a touch screen, but also has some physical buttons, physical volume knob as well. And so this home button right here takes us to this screen. It's kind of like a cell phone where you have these little icons and tiles that you can quickly go into. Now you can go into all apps as well, and then you kind of go in here and deselect the ones that you don't want on the home screen. So if there's something you never want to use, you can get rid of it. Now you can go into the navigation, which is built into the system, which is nice. You can also change the display mode here where you have the brightness. You can quickly go there. You can also turn the display off here if you want. You can set up your phone. I like the way they have different colors too, which is nice. And you have different audio sources. Right now it's showing the FM there, the Bluetooth audio here, here on the tiles. But you know, once you go into the system here and you're playing from the radio, you can adjust the sound and stuff like that. But you can see it has this little icon here for the Bluetooth audio. So you can change here at the bottom as well. It also has the wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so this will be the smartphone connection here. And you can see the power flow like we saw on the other screen. This is kind of like a larger version of it. So right now the engine's running, charging the battery. Engine just turned off, so now we're just running off of the battery. And then when we drive, then it's going to show the power going from the battery to the wheels. So it's kind of neat. It's just kind of visual reference. It's not necessary, but it is pretty neat to look at and see what the status of the hybrid system is doing. Kind of gives you a visual reference there. Pretty neat. It does have the satellite radio, and you have the album art presets there as well. You can change to the channels, you can change to the genres, or you can go here to the channel list and kind of scroll all the way through and get to the one you want. There's also a keypad that you can direct tune. But you notice it's kind of a couple steps to get there. There's settings, vehicle settings, which is a separate. So the general settings are here. And then you have the vehicle settings. It's a different category here that you can go to. Now the meter setup is basically the gauges. Now it has a different options here. Now right here it says fuel efficiency backlight. So basically, well, as you're driving, it'll have a light that stays green while you're driving in a fuel efficient manner, and it'll turn white. Basically, it'll transition to white the more you're flooring it and being not very economical. Under the door and window setup, it has the walk-away auto lock. So you can select that. If you're not familiar with that, it is basically if you have the key with you, you get out and you walk away, then it just locks the doors for you. You don't have to just you don't have to lock the door. It just automatically locks. So it's really convenient. You'll never like think that, oh, did I lock the doors? I don't know. I got all this expensive stuff in there. You know, it just kind of automatically locks the doors as you walk away. Really good. Highly recommend at least trying that feature. I like the way you can just select a clock here and focus on the time. So you can also have different clock faces. So if you just want like a digital clock, you can have it like that. It also gives you the date as well, because sometimes you just want to stay focused on the time and not be distracted by anything else. So this is a way of doing that very easily. Okay, the 4-way flashes are here. And here's the climate control buttons, and they're really nice looking. They're kind of like a chrome color, and a little bit of texture there. They're illuminated, and they have information here on the screen behind it, but also on them as well. So it has a dual zone. Driver and passenger temperatures are here, which you can sync together if you want. Fan speeds control here in the middle. Where you want the air to blow, you can cycle through that. Rear defrosters, front defrosters. When you turn on the rear defrosters, it also turns on the heated side mirrors as well. Recirculate the air. It also has a 3-stage heated seat for the driver, and then the passenger is here. High, medium, and low. So there's USB ports, USB-A, USB-C, 12-volt power supply, wireless phone charger. There's a rubberized surface for kind of putting some stuff as well. It does have the different drive modes here, and when you cycle through, there's Sport, Normal, Econ, and then Snow, since it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. Normal is fine for me. I mean, it doesn't really make a huge difference when you change through, for me. The Sport doesn't, it's not, some vehicles makes a big difference. This one is not really that big of a difference. Downhill descent, so this would be for off-road use. You can go downhill or uphill. It's a hill. It's basically like a slow motion, slow crawl, off-road, slippery surface, cruise control type situation there. So that's not for like highway use or anything like that. Electronic parking brake. Lift it up to engage it. It engages the rear wheels, and you hold the brake and push it down to release it. Brake hold. This will, if you have this turned on, it'll let you know that it's on here on the screen. But if you have that on, it'll when you come to a complete stop, it'll automatically just hold the brake until you release the until you hit the accelerator. Then it'll release the brake and allow you to drive. So if you're sitting at a stoplight for a long period of time, it just holds the brake for you. Okay, so the shifters here, let's go ahead and put it in reverse. Parking sensors activate, and also your rear cross traffic alert, which you can have here, turn on or off. And then the of course the cameras here. Now the camera system isn't like the most excellent camera system. It's not, the camera is not in the center of the vehicle. It's offset, so you can see the tag is on one side, not the other. There's a lot of where it's located. You have a lot of view taken up by the actual vehicle here itself. But you do get a view, since they use a wide angle lens. It's designed to, on these sides, to give you a view both directions behind your vehicle. So you do have once you understand what you're looking at, you're actually looking left and right and directly behind the vehicle. So you're able to make sure there's nobody a car or a pedestrian or whatever is not there. So it's pretty good as far as that goes. You do have a more linear view if you need that, or a top-down view if you need that. Now it does have a 1,000-pound tow capacity, so you could put a trailer hitch there and this help out backing up to it. Alright, there's neutral, drive, and then it has an engine braking. So this will force the vehicle to give you a steady, consistent engine braking that's higher than it would normally have. So if you're going down a hill, you can temporarily adjust the regen with the paddle shifters, but this gives you another level of basically forcing it to, if you're going down a hill, you need engine braking. Since it doesn't have a traditional drive, transmission, stuff like that for like a low gear type situation, this is where you would use for going downhill, steep hill for extended period of time especially. Okay, so there's the cup holders, and you can see it has little articulating arms to take up the slack for different size cups. And it has a little rubberized pad at the bottom, which you can remove, clean, put back in. And there's another little space right here, which it is a hard plastic. Armrest is fairly comfortable. Probably not big enough to share with the passenger, but it's not too bad. And it is kind of spring-loaded, so it doesn't like fall down on you. It kind of lifts up, but not too aggressively. Now it has this little quick access tray, which you can put here, here, or you can put it up here and kind of snaps into this underside here, out of your way, which is pretty neat, because it does kind of get in the way, but it is handy to have a quick access spot if you need one. And then the storage compartment has a felt lining at the bottom. I got my business cards in the way. Felt lining right down here. You can take that out and clean it, put it back in. But I would replace that felt with like a lighter colored one so you can see in there a little bit better. But there's no lights or anything in here. No light in the glove compartment. There's kind of spoilers for the night video, but there's some missing areas for sure in this vehicle as far as lighting goes. It does have an auto dim rearview mirror. It's actually auto dimming right now because I have this shade over the light sensor, which is located right back here on the back side. You have tap lights, reading lights here and here. There's little ambient lights that shine as well at nighttime. Turn on all the interior lights, turn them all off. Put it in a center position so they turn on when you open the door. There's the switch for the one switch that controls the sunroof, both open and slide. We'll get to that in a second. Place to put your shades. It's kind of like a kind of foam type, rubbery type material in there here on the back side, and it's pretty good size. You can put some big glasses in there. The visor has a cloth black material, just like the headliner, and it is it does have the mirror with a light as well. It does extend out, but kind of extends out, but it leaves a little gap there. And guess where the sun is all the time? Okay, so let's look at the sunroof. It has a shade that covers 100% of the light, which is good. Sometimes you don't want any light coming in. You can open it up, and then this single button is used to push up to lift it up and tilt it, or push it back to slide it back. All right, that's as far back as it goes. So looking at the visibility here in the back, you can see I have one seat down and one seat up, so you can see how that interferes with the visibility to some degree. And it's got some pretty wide pillars back there. But overall, I mean, I haven't really had an issue with visibility. Looking over my shoulders here or anywhere, you know, I mean, there's going to be some areas in which the pillars get in the way, front and back. But this vehicle, because it has the camera system, blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, parking sensors and all that stuff, all the technology helps out. So it's not really been an issue with visibility. I think with all the sensors and stuff, one thing that people may overlook is this pillar right here as far as visibility. Some vehicles have a wide pillar, and even when it's not that wide, you can easily have a pedestrian or another vehicle get hidden behind that if you're moving and they're moving. So that's one of the reasons why you're supposed to come to a complete stop at a stop sign, because you need to look for moving objects, and it's hard to do that when you're moving as well. So they can easily get hidden behind there, and they stay behind, they stay hidden the whole time you're moving. So maybe I'll make a video on why you should stop at a stop sign, because I think they don't really explain that too much. People don't really explain why you have to come to a complete stop at a stop sign. When you're in tight traffic like this, having the adaptive cruise control is really convenient. You can kind of just set it and it follows the vehicle in front of you, and they can speed up and slow down. And since this is a full range adaptive cruise control system, even if they come to a complete stop, the vehicle will do so as well. So just makes it a little bit less stressful driving in tight traffic or the highway. And you can also set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. So with something like this, I usually set it maybe 2 bars, 1 bar, depending on the situation, and just kind of cruise along and I'm able to just not really not worry too much about the speed of the person in front of me. Now, sometimes when I set it, if somebody's like a super slowpoke and I'm not really paying attention to my speed and I just get stuck behind them, then I'm just like driving super slow the whole time. But you know, that could happen, but it just makes it a lot less stressful, considering you have the adaptive cruise control and the lane keep assist system. Now, radio, this is a really good sounding Bose sound system. It would be tempting just to buy the high trim just so we can get this Bose sound system. It is really good. It's another thing that adds to the enjoyment of driving this vehicle. But overall, it's the type of vehicle that's just easy to get in and out of. Your passengers can get in and out. You can easily get to the cargo area. There's lots of room. It's well designed as far as that goes. It's really easy to put groceries in different boxes or whatever. You have a completely flat floor in the back for the cargo. Lots of room for passengers. You can connect cell phones, charge cell phones in the front and the back. There's lots of little pockets and little storage areas in which, when you get in the vehicle, if you have something in your hands, you have places to put them. You know, that's very important to me anyway, and a lot of people. And it's zippy enough to drive through traffic in the city, but out on the highway, it's nice and smooth. Even at high speeds, it just feels comfortable and stable, and once again, a stress-free experience. So yeah, Honda does a pretty good job. I mean, things are kind of simplistic as far as the controls, and some of the features are a little bit more on the simple side, like the camera system is basic, but you know, overall, it's a type of vehicle that the average person can buy and drive and not be too, there's not a huge learning curve or anything like that. So this is a hybrid vehicle, has the adaptive cruise control, it has the proximity key system. So a person who's trading in a 12, 15-year-old vehicle can still, with just a little bit of learning curve, just a small amount, you can set up the vehicle and then they can start driving it and not really have to be distracted by any of the technology getting in their way and confusing them, you know. So I think that's where Honda does a good job of transitioning people to the newer technologies without, for the people that they're not really into, you know, learning about every little detail and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a good driving experience overall. So today's a Saturday, kind of busy day in Myrtle Beach area. Went to East Coast Honda, checked out the new inventory. Not a lot that's changed except for the Sport L trim on the Honda. The CRV has a Sport L, which is kind of like the EXL, but has the sporty appearance package and has the leather interior, stuff like that. So that's a new trim, but basically it's the same as last year, which is the new redesigned. Last year was the redesign, so we're still dealing with fresh products, not too out of date or anything like that. Okay, so here we are on the highway, trying to get over 70, but a lot of traffic right now. So we're at 67, hopefully get a little bit faster. But yeah, smooth ride, relatively quiet. There's a little bit of road noise here and there, depending on what road you're driving on, you know, if it's a rough surface or whatever. But exterior noises are kept out nicely. The engine, you don't really hear it too much, unless you really give it some gas there, and then it kind of revs up, and it's not that bad though. Like Toyota is like really loud compared to Honda. It's a lot better. All right, so there we go. We're going a little bit over 70 now. And even at these higher speeds, it does cycle from electric to gas. So let's see if we can put it on econ mode. And average drive on this little trip that I did of 120 miles, I've averaged 33.5 miles per gallon. So not a bad amount there, considering how big this vehicle is, how much room you have and all that. And it's a hybrid, so you know, you have to factor that in, and the added cost for the hybrid system and all that. But not too bad.